house. I'm so glad you stopped in. This is episode 4 of our candy making, and it is going to be Better Than Anything Toffee, and it is yummy. So we are going to start off by, I will put you down so you can see what I'm doing. And I have my pan that I have parchment paper and I've sprayed the bottom. I'm going to add some coarsely chopped pecans and just sprinkle those out. On the bottom, and that is 1 cup. We're just going to spread that out. It's not have to be perfect. Okay. Oh, sugar, white sugar. So 1 cup of white sugar. I have my candy thermometer in there. We are going to be, once it gets up and boiling, we're going to be putting it till it's a hard crack stage, which is 290 to 300. And we're going to add our butter. This calls for a cup of butter and a cup of sugar. And add that. I am using salted butter, and it calls for salt. And I usually, what I do is just lower. It says half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to put a tiny bit in there because this is already salted butter. So put that in there, and you want to add your salt. I'm just going to do a tiny bit. You can get away with a lot. You don't always have to do exactly as what it says. Like when it says unsalted butter, you could use salted. You just kind of, make sure that you don't have it too salted. So I am putting this onto like a medium to start with, just to melt that butter and get it all incorporated. You want a heavy bottomed pan. The next few recipes I make are going to be very similar to this. They're all one kind of version or another of toffee. Toffee's always a big hit. It usually is gone first. So this recipe is 9 points for 24 pieces. I'm not sure what we're going to get out of this, so I'll update it. And you don't have to stir it constantly. Once it kind of melts, then you kind of just want to stir it occasionally. I'm just getting it all melted and incorporated, and then I won't stir it as much. Can you see in there? Let's see if I need to get you scoot it up a little bit so you can see better. I can't put it any closer. Okay, well, that's going to have to do. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Yeah, I think so. And don't be afraid to make toffee. It's not that difficult. You can also, there's ways that you can tell if it's hard cracked. I didn't always have thermometers when I was making it. You can put it in a cup of water and see if it drops down. You just want to make sure that the sugar is nice and dissolved, and then it'll start boiling. And then once it boils, it takes a while. This is This process is takes a little time consuming, so I brought my chair because I've been standing a lot today, and I'm going to use that and sit down for a minute because I don't need to stand up the whole time. Now I could see you too. I hope you guys enjoy all these recipes. They're close to my heart. I've made candy, like I said, for 40 years, and it's just been a blessing. I love doing it. I just am getting all that gritty sugar away from the edges. Just so it gets dissolved in my butter. After, once this is at the hard crack stage, we'll take it up from the heat, add the vanilla, stir it up, and then pour it evenly over our pecans or pecans, whatever you say. Everybody says it differently. Then we leave it untouched for a few minutes, and then we're going to add 1 cup of milk chocolate um, chocolate chips on top, and just let that sit for just a little bit, a few minutes till it melts, and then we're going to spread it on top, and then we'll put it in the fridge to cool, and then we can crack it. I decided to only make 1 batch of each since I'm making 3 different kinds. Oh, 4 different kinds. I forgot. I'm going to make a saltine cracker one and a Ritz cracker one. I cannot sit down and cook. I cannot do it. I'm going to take it and get it all from the edges. And then I'm going to leave it alone for a minute. You know, after it starts boiling a little bit, it gets pretty quickly. It starts going to the next, to the hard crack stage real quick. I'm going to stir it. What I like about this recipe, it's pretty easy to remember, even if you don't have the recipe. It's 1 cup sugar, 1 cup butter, 1 cup pecans, 1 cup of your melted, your milk chocolate chips. So it's kind of nice that it's like that. And a teaspoon of the vanilla. And if you're using the salt, you put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. But like I said, my butter I didn't have unsalted butter. To be honest, I never cook my candy with unsalted butter. I've tried it, and it doesn't do much for me. It doesn't change anything to me. But I don't know, maybe it's just me. So now I just don't want this to burn when it gets to this temperature. But we do want it to brown just a little bit. Oh, I misspoke. It was soft ball. Now we're going to be almost to the hard crack. Soft crack. You can see that the color is changing a little bit. And and if you've had toffee at all, you know that it gets that nice golden color, and that's what we want. See how it starts pulling away from the sides? And I feel like it gets, once it gets past a certain stage, that it goes pretty quickly. You don't want to stir it quickly. You just kind of stir it around evenly. And it's super hot, so you got to really be careful when you're pouring it. But you'll have them for next year, or you can make them anytime. You don't have to wait till Christmas or Thanksgiving or any holiday. You'll see how easy it is, and you can make anything anytime. All right, so we're almost to the soft crack stage. kind of stirring a little more frequently. I don't want it to get any burned. That color's changing to that beautiful golden color. So it just says stir frequently, so we don't have to do it constantly. But I always do want to stir it. I just don't want it to burn on the bottom. I've had that happen. It will get almost to like a dark penny color. That's the color you're really ideally wanting. Once it gets to our hard cracked stage, then we're going to remove it from the heat. I think I told you that already. And then we'll add our vanilla. Some recipes that I've made, they call for vanilla and some don't. This pan is pretty easy to wash as long as you put hot water right away. But in this case, we kind of have to watch it. That color's changing nicely. It's getting that beautiful caramel color. I love that. I think my next one I'm going to put in my other pan that's a little smaller. I don't really need this big one. That's kind of overkill. Oh, we don't have too much longer. It's almost 290, so it'll be 300 very close, very, very soon. If you've not made this, I suggest you try it. It's not hard, and I know you can do it. All right. Can you see that color, how beautiful it is? Almost. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope your holidays are filled with cheer and loved ones and friends. lovely. Now, when you dump it in your pan, I don't scrape the pan because some of that gritty sugar, it usually just slips right out. So I tend not to scrape the pan when I'm dumping it. I thought I better tell you that little tidbit of information. I'm going to put my thermometer on there. We just got a little bit longer. I wish you could smell it. It's got that caramely. Just be patient. It takes just a little bit of time, but it's really not hard at all. You can actually see that color changing. Just about ready here. Okay, it's ready. I'm going to turn this off. Put this on here. I'm going to remove it from the heat. Add our vanilla. And the vanilla always does that, and it always scares me every time. We're just going to stir that vanilla in there till it's all incorporated. Perfect. You can't see that. There it looks like this, and we're going to just dump it right over our prepared pan. So it comes out almost all very nicely. I'm just going to kind of spread it out a little. Well, I guess I'll just shake it. I don't really want to spread it. I didn't want my dog. I dropped a tiny bit and I didn't want her to burn her mouth. All right, so we'll just leave this alone. So we're just leaving that right now for just a few minutes. You don't have to leave it too long. So I'm just going to sprinkle my chocolate chips on there. You want them on that hot candy so that it melts. So I had some escapees I had to put on there. Now we're going to leave that for just a few minutes, and then I'll once that's good, then I'll spread it on there. Once that's melted. So it takes a few minutes though. Be patient. You can tell when they start melting is when they get shiny. I'm just taking the ones that are not shiny yet And I don't know if you guys saw this. I thought it was cute. It says, Christmas calories don't count. But they do, so I have to be careful still. Just about. A few of those are still not melty. I always rush this part. I want it to do it so I can hurry up and spread it, but it doesn't work that way. And there's no wrong or right way. You guys can do this and it'll turn out beautiful. We'll come back when it's cold and I'll show you when we break it apart. There's a few that aren't, looks like they're not quite done, but I'm going to try it. Oh yeah. How nice that is. Put it all the way to the edge. All right. Now we're just going to put that in the fridge, let it get cold, and then we'll break it and I'll come back and show you that. Okay, we're back. This is my pecan butter toffee. And it is time, it's been in the fridge, so now it's time to break it up. I had told you that I would show you guys that. Let me put you down so you could see. I'm going to put it in a airtight container. I'm just going to put all my toffees in here. So as you can see, I tried breaking it already. Let me see if I can do it where you can see. So I'm just going to pick up that parchment paper and kind of crack it. And it really doesn't matter how you crack it. I usually do big pieces and small pieces, and my husband did test it and it was good. See, it's super easy. You can do this. I'm sure of it. See, it has the pecans on the bottom. It tastes like a Heath bar, except with pecans. And you can make it thinner, but this is a good texture. Trying to make room for my other ones on there, but I can get a new tray. So it's just that easy. Just kind of pop it down there. All right. On to the next one. We'll get them all cracked up. I hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday season. And until next time, make a fantastic day. Bye.